Hi everyone, Matt here from Brain Food Studios, and I wanted my first videos to be about, well, why is it I'm doing this? What is this channel all about? What is the content intended to be? So first of all, why am I creating this? One, I love creating content. I've discovered over the past couple of years working in education technology in a bunch of different capacities as a marketing professional, as an instructional designer, as an educational designer, as a customer success support person. I've really discovered that I love making content. I love making videos. I love being silly on camera, playing around with puppets like these guys over here. I love dad jokes. I love being corny. I look at it as a badge of honor whenever I make my kids cringe, whenever they kind of roll their eyes at me. I love that. And so bringing that sort of fun-loving attitude to the content that I create is something that really excites me. The other side of it is that it's not just any old content, but I've always been a bit of a math enthusiast. I love talking about science. I love talking about math and math learning trajectories, like what happens in a kid's brain when they first learn how to count, when they first learn how to add, and what are some of the strategies that they use as they start to build a more sophisticated understanding. So that's why I'm starting this channel. One, I really like creating content. I love being silly. I love math. I love science. And I also really love and respect teachers and educators, whether they be home, as parents, trying to make sure that the content that their kids are watching is enriching. I'm going to play with lots of toys too, by the way. I have big plans. I'm sure they will pivot and change a million times, but I have big plans to make content and then complementary resources like lesson plans, questioning materials that teachers can bring into the classroom that can guide exploration as students kind of follow along in class or at home. Some of the things that I think about when we're creating these pieces of content, there's this perception that there is this dichotomy between someone who's good at math and someone who's not good at math, right? We always hear this sentiment that, multiply these two numbers for me. Well, yeah, you're a math person. What's 20%? I want to add a tip. And what's 18% of this? I'm not a math person. I can't figure that out. This idea of a math person and not a math person is really unfortunate because, I mean, there's only two requirements to being a math person. One, you need to be a person, and two, you need to do math. Whether you like to admit it or not, we are doing math all the time. It's how we navigate and make sense of the world around us. If you've played a board game in the last week or so, guaranteed you've done math. If you've even just rolled a dice, you've done math. If you've made a decision based on what you think the dice roll might be, you've done math. And math is not just manipulating numbers. It's spatial reasoning. It's geography. It's data analysis. And we do this stuff all the time. This idea that I'm not a math person is something that's embedded in our brains at a very early age, and it just sits there and it festers and it grows and it goes through our entire brain. I want to challenge this idea of a math person. I want to make sure every kid never thinks that I'm not a math person or I'm not good at math. And one of the prerequisites to that is being able to dive in feet first into a problem and just see, let's see what happens, right? This fear of failure, or rather squashing this fear of failure, is something that I want to combat. I want to embrace mistakes. Because I'm sure you've heard it said in different contexts before, but like, we learn the most from our failures. Right? I tell my kids all the time, it's okay that you make mistakes as long as you learn from them. If we take that sort of fearless mentality into math class, into science, we're going to see students that will approach a novel problem with this fearlessness, with this unabashed, almost reckless nature, which I think is fantastic. When I was teaching physics in high school, the thing I would tell my students all the time is just start writing something down. Rewrite the entire question if you have to, but try and do it with like symbols and numbers, right? Just try something. Maybe it's going to be a dead end. Who cares? We learn from our mistakes, and that's something that I want to bring to life in the content that we create. There's going to be tons of times in this content where we're going to try something. I'm going to make a mistake. and we're going to hit a wall. We're going to celebrate that moment. We're not going to be like, oh, shoot, what a waste of time. We're going to be like, no, this is amazing. I can't believe this happened. This is so fantastic that this mistake happened. One last thing that I want to talk about is the cross-curricular nature of some of the content that I'm going to try and put out. I really want to blur the lines between subjects. We're going to do things like experiments where we dig into the data. We're going to do things where we take a math problem but put it within a context where it's something that we would encounter in daily life. We are going to analyze the mathematics and the science behind music and stories and all sorts of different things. I want to look at maps. I want to look at graphs. I want to look at all this fun stuff because that's where math really comes to life. So I want to clue up this video. I'm going to close it. Clue up. I'm from Newfoundland, by the way. In Newfoundland, sometimes I've been told this is a Newfoundland colloquialism. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Maybe you can tell me in the comments whether you actually use the phrase clue up to mean conclude. So I'm going to clue up this video with one challenge to you. If someone ever says, I'm not a math person, stop them and say, yes, you are. I'm a math person. You're a math person. Absolutely everyone is a math person. So thank you very much for tuning in. If you haven't already, be sure to like this video. Be sure to subscribe. It's how we're going to grow this channel and how we're going to bring all of these ideals, all of these grandiose ideas that we have here for Brain Food Studios, and how we're going to bring them to life, bring them to the masses, how we're going to make Brain Food Studios a pioneer in the way that we produce and consume educational content. So thank you very much for tuning in. We'll see you again real soon.